July 26, 2015. Getting ready to go on a big hike. Here's all my stuff. Got to fit everything into that backpack. Then I'll be on the road. Alright, it's about 9:30, July 26, day one. Pulling out of the driveway. Here we go. Matthew told me after the last video I did of the Highline Trail that I have to document on video all of my hikes, so this is for him, and we're off. So I'm on my way to Moon Lake Reservoir. Gonna start hiking at the Moon Lake trailhead and go up into Brown Duck Basin, and then on up tomorrow, the second day, on up over into East Basin. Here's what the road looks like on the way to Moon Lake Reservoir. Should be there in a few minutes. Here we are coming into Moon Lake. There's the lake. That's pretty. And I'll be hiking up that way to the right of that big peak. If I can find me a place to park up here. Nice area. So here we are pulling into the trailhead. The trailhead, I wish you could park up in the campground area because it's about a mile further up the trail, but oh well. So here's where I'll leave my car. Alright, here I am, ready to go. Saying goodbye to Fury. Bye, Fury. There's the lake back there. And here we go off to the trailhead. Hope I don't get lost. This is actually a hike I've done before. I did this 4 years ago. And I don't normally do the same hikes. I like to see new terrain. But I heard a rumor about some good fishing up here, so I'm gonna go check it out. The destination is East Basin, which is 2 days. It's about 17 miles, so I'll go about 9 miles today, 8 miles tomorrow. And then I may, oops, I don't know what I'm doing here. I may take a loop back, a different route, down up over by Squaw Lake and down to Rose Pass. But I'll wait and see how I feel on that third day. Got my backpack, Betsy. Familiar feeling after hiking Highline Trail 2 weeks ago, and here we go again. So I debated on whether to do this hike this week for several reasons. One reason I wasn't sure I wanted to do is because full moon is at the end of the week, and I don't like backpacking during a full moon. It's hard to sleep at night. I love seeing the stars when it's darker. But it's just a good time for me to go. And the other thing is the forecast, the weather forecast. It was so hot in June, and now in July it's been cooler. It's a strange summer. But I was looking at the forecast, and from yesterday to Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, is going to drop about 15 degrees. So up here it could be really chilly. It's going to be, forecast said, about 39 degrees Wednesday morning at home. Usually it's been about 50. This morning it was 50 for a low. So nice and warm today, but it should cool off, which is great during the days, but the nights could get a little chilly. But there's no rain in the forecast, yay! So that's good. We'll see how it goes. So I'm still going around Moon Lake. It's a really pretty little trail here. Nice aspens. Really beautiful day for hiking, no wind. Flies are a little annoying, but it's a really pretty area. So here's where the trail forks. If I go straight, that takes me around the rest of Moon Lake and up what's called Lake Fork. But I'm going uphill, and this is the hike that goes to Brown Duck Basin, where I'm headed. Just a couple more thoughts while I'm hiking. If I don't record my thoughts, I forget them. I read somewhere that when you're training and conditioning, and then if you do nothing, it takes 9 days for your body to lose its conditioning. And I did the Highline Trail, what was it, 12 days ago? I ended that, something like that, right close to 2 weeks. And I'm finding that I'm still feeling the benefits of that hike. I'm able to, this is a steep hike right here, and I'm able to rest way less often than usual. I'm hiking faster, so my body's still, it's doing better than I thought. I'm in fairly good shape, even though it's been a couple weeks since I did any hiking. So that's good news. So I'm about a half hour into the hike. That mountain I said I was going to go around on the right side, I was incorrect. I'm going on the left side of it. And then I'm getting up here. Let's see if I can see, well, you can't see it. Down there behind those trees is the lake. I thought you'd see it from here, but getting up this first mile is about 400 feet of elevation gain, and then it tapers off a little, so this is the steep part. Well, still can't see the lake. Hopefully if I get a shot of Moon Lake up here, I'll film it later. Okay, leveling off a little for the first time. This is down on these lower, tripping and falling. These lower elevations, lots of lodgepole pine, and as we get higher, they'll disappear. Different ecosystem. We'll get into those pines and spruces, but it's nice to have a little relief from the climb. Okay, so some of these video clips are going to be just for my own benefit. I like to record my times and distances just for future reference. So this is where I just came up, and then this is the Jeep Trail. Here's the junction, little sign right here. And it took me 53 minutes to get to this junction. When you leave the trail, I'm going to keep hiking while I talk. When you leave the trailhead, there's two options. If you follow the telephone poles along the lake, that's the sign, it says Lake Fork Trailhead, and then the other one kind of goes up the hill, and that says Brown Duck Basin. But that one is a little longer. It's not as steep as an incline as the one I came up, but you have to know where to turn off the Lake Fork. Oh, I got people coming, so I'll finish this in a minute. All right, that was a really nice couple from Salt Lake. They were just on a day hike and had a bunch of questions about the area and lakes up here and stuff. All right, so anyway, so when you do this hike, you want to take the Lake Fork Trail from the trailhead, even though it doesn't say it's going to Brown Duck. And then you have to know where to turn off. It's about, I don't know, you just have to know. There's no sign, but there you can see the trail. It's pretty obvious. It forks left. If you stayed on Lake Fork, it would take you all the way around Moon Lake Reservoir and on up the Lake Fork Draw, which you don't want to go on because it's a hike you can't see anything on, just trees. All right. Oh, now I'm going downhill. Don't like that. That means I'm going to have to climb again. So, stop for lunch in a little bit, chat some more. Not sure if you can see it down there, but that's Moon Lake. I'm about almost 2 hours into my hike, almost 4 miles, still climbing. That might be a little better view. There's a trail, finally starting to level off. This has been way steeper than I remember. It's funny what your brain chooses to remember and forget, but I've been 2 hours of almost constant uphill, and it's been pretty not too gradual. Looks like we're finally leveling off here a little bit. All right, I'm finally at the wilderness boundary. This is where the primitive area starts. I'm going to sit down here and eat lunch, figure out my elevation gain and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to eat lunch here for a bit and rest. That was a hard push. I didn't realize that was a, let's see, 1,100 foot climb, and I did most of that was in the first hour and a half. Whoops, I don't know where the camera's pointing. So it was a good climb the whole way. It did not gradually climb, but now it's leveled off. In fact, it's been going downhill for the last 10 minutes. Anyway, I found this nice little brook right here by the wilderness boundary to have my lunch. There's my backpack, and here's my routine for lunch. The first day, I always treat myself to one of these energy Sobeys. It's got natural, energy ingredients, a little bit of caffeine. And I don't mind carrying the extra weight because it's usually only for an hour or two on the first day, and then I have my sandwich, and then I empty one of these up with ice so that I can drink what melts on the hike the first day, and then I pour my drink into it so it's cold, and then I'll start pumping water after that. So it's been a good 2 hours, 4-mile hike so far, maybe a little more, and about halfway there almost. So gonna eat lunch and get a little rest. That was a tasty lunch. Snurks always makes me a peanut butter sandwich for my first lunch, and it was yummy. So I passed the one couple from Salt Lake, stopped, talked to them 4 or 5 minutes, and then I passed 4 guys with 6 horses that had been up Brown Duck and Kidney Lakes camping and fishing. And then there's a lady that just passed me eating lunch on her horse. She works for it's not the Forest Service, Department of Agriculture, I think. She's up here monitoring the ranchers who bring their cows, make sure they're not doing stuff they're not supposed to or something like that. Really nice lady from Altona. So, here we go. Here's what the trail looks like. There's supposed to be, my destination tonight is Antwine Lake. And last time I did this hike, I went to Brown Duck, and then it kind of doubles back and heads on up to Antwine. But there's supposed to be this little known trail somewhere up here in the next, I'm guessing it's about a half a mile from where I am now. If I can, and I looked for it last time I was here and I couldn't find it, but I'm going to try to find it this time. It cuts off a good, could even be as much as a mile from, it's a shortcut. Even though it's steeper, it cuts off some time. So I'm looking for that trail. If I find it, that'll get me there a little earlier and I can spend some time relaxing and maybe even fishing tonight. So here we go. Onward and upward. Got a couple nice clouds floating by, give me a little relief from the hot sun. It's been a hot day hiking. So I found the trail, the shortcut trail, but I decided against taking it. It just didn't feel right. So I'm gonna do the longer, more gradual ascent, which is fine. I'm not in a hurry. I don't like getting there too soon anyway. Have to fight the mosquitoes. So still a lot of uphill. But that'll put me there a little later, but I'm enjoying the hike more this way. So next stop, Brown Duck Lake. This trail is interesting. It's really well used, and so most of it's really good. Wide, good hiking. Some of it's rocky, maybe 20%. But the thing that's hard, I don't know if you can tell, it's really sandy, and so it's like walking on a beach, some of it. It's so soft and sandy that you sink in and it takes a little more energy. So that part makes it a little harder. Most of it's fine though. All right, Brown Duck Lake is about 200 yards up there. I can see it. This is the trail head where I'll come back in a few minutes and go to East Basin area where I'm going to go to Antwine Lake. And this hike has been more strenuous than I remembered. The first time I hiked I did the same hike from Moon Lake into this lake, Brown Duck, was about almost exactly 30 years ago. And I distinctly remember thinking at the time, it was a pretty easy hike. Good heck. That was a workout, man. All right, here it is. This is probably the 4th time I've been to this lake. I've camped here a couple times. I don't think I'll camp here tonight. As tired as I am, I think I'm gonna go to Antoine, and I think it's about a mile. I hope it's not further, but I'm gonna check that out on my map here in just a minute. Sorry about all the jiggling. Let's see, where am I going here? I think I'll go this way. When I was here 4 years ago, right up here, I'm really thirsty. I haven't pumped any water today yet. Oh, by the way, I gotta look at my timing here. Sorry. Okay, so let's see, 4 hours and 15 minutes, but that included a half-hour lunch break. Anyway, last time I was right here in this spot, 4 years ago, I was pumping water, and I sat here and watched a osprey catch a fish right out of here, and it was pretty cool. I love this lake. I don't know why. It's just a wonderful place. I actually had an interesting dream about it about 25 years ago that was stuck with me too. I have to tell that sometime. All right, up over there, it's probably not going to focus. Wish I had a zoom on this. Off to the right where you can't see is East Basin Pass. I'll be going over that tomorrow. So, nice place. Got some dark clouds up there coming in. Might give me some rain later on. All right. All right, leaving Brown Duck Lake. Spent about 15 minutes, pumped some water out of the lake. It was nasty. Not very cold, tastes bitter. I had it in my head that Antoine Lake was about a mile from here, but it's 2.5 miles. So I'm getting tired. So I'm gonna take my time and rest enough that I hope I have some energy when I get there to, I can't find the trail now. Set up my camp and stuff, so off to Antoine. All right, and there is Antoine Lake. I made it in a little less than an hour. I made good time. I usually hike about 2.5 miles an hour unless it's some uphill. I still have a ways to hike because I'm going to go around the left side of it here, clear up to the northeast side. When I was here 4 years ago, I camped over here on the south side and it was terrible camping, so I'm going to go search for a better spot. Here's a better view of it. Fish jumping out there. You can't probably see them, but really nice lake. It is a beautiful lake. Some are really pretty, prettier than others. I've been hearing some thunder. You can't tell because this camera always adjusts to the light, but it's darkened up quite a bit since the sun went away. And so I'm going to probably go straight across over there. I don't know, somewhere over that way to find a water source and a camp spot. Well, I'm sure I'm going to regret this because my feet and legs are sore. But instead of hiking half a mile around that lake, which looked really rough, the hike, I'm just going to go a half mile up the road until I find another water source, because that's all I need anyway. I wasn't going to fish tonight, and I don't need to camp at the lake, so I'd rather keep hiking on the trail than hike around that lake. It looked kind of rough, so hopefully I'll find some water and a place to camp on the trail up here. Well, I have rarely had trouble finding water in the Uintas anywhere I've hiked, but there has been no water today to speak of except for the lakes, the outlet of Brown Duck, and the two lakes themselves. So, and I mean, there's nowhere to camp. This is what it looks like everywhere, and there's nowhere to even pitch a tent. So I decided I got to keep going to Clements Lake, which is about a mile past Antoine, and I'm about 3/4 of the way there, I believe. And so I'll probably just have to drink lake water tonight from Clements. Clements is not a real pretty lake. It's one of those lakes that way back before this was designated wilderness, the primitive area, years ago, they used to come up here and dam off some of the outlets to some of these lakes so that they could make them bigger, so that the farmers could extend their water season down below. That's how Fox Lake is. A lot of these lakes are like that. And most of them, as a result, are not kind of ugly because the water level always goes up and down. And that's kind of how Clements is. So, but I hope I can find somewhere to camp around that. I can't remember how the camping is, but that's fine. I will, man, it's uphill. I will have gone between 10.5 to 11 miles today, which is good for tomorrow. It means I have less to hike tomorrow, but I found a couple years ago that my body, after about 8 miles, it's not happy. It's no fun. So I like to only go about 8 if I can. Then my body doesn't go into crisis mode. When it does, I can't. Of course, I can't sleep either. But anyway, I mean, I don't sleep up here hardly at all. I do get plenty of rest usually. But anyway, it all works out in the end. I'll be able to hike less tomorrow and rest more. Get my body feeling better. My body actually feels great. My heart's strong, everything's great. It's just my feet and my legs and my hips are sore. Other than that, I'm fine. So, Clements Lake, hopefully soon. Seems like it's taken forever to get there. Man, that took forever. There's the dam right there, the lake. That was definitely more than a mile. I was hiking at least 2 miles an hour, and that was 45 minutes, so it was about at least 1.5 miles. So now I'm going to try to find a camp spot, see if I can get closer to the water over there. Got a pretty good place to camp back in there, about 300 feet from the lake. I'm walking down to get water now. I am thirsty. Here's kind of what the lake looks like. Got a big lake. A lot of dead stuff up where the high water usually is. So, water time. Tent time. I love my tent. Okay, here's my camp spot for the night. Lake's over there. Got some nice cover in these trees. Got a fire pit, even though I'm not going to use it. I usually don't build a fire unless I got to dry something out or get rid of mosquitoes. So, should be a fun night. So I'm sitting here eating some dinner. It's really clouding up. It's getting quite dark. And the sun's not down yet. You can't tell on this camera because it always adjusts for the light, but there's dark clouds coming in and could rain tonight. Anyway, one of the reasons today might have been a little strenuous is because my pack was heavier than usual. When I packed for my 9 days on the Highline Trail, my pack was just under 40 pounds. Usually I can get away with about 25 pounds. I pack really light. But the reason I packed more for this trip, even though it's 4 days, is because on that last trip, I only used less than half of my food. I had no appetite, and that's happening again on this one. My body, I can tell it, my stomach kind of growls because I need to eat, but I have no appetite, and I just have to force food down. But the one thing on that last hike that I felt like I wanted to eat was fresh stuff, and of course it's too heavy. So I only brought, I'm 4 days, but I only brought 2 freeze-dried meals, and I don't know if I'm even going to use those. And then I just brought a few granola bars and some turkey jerky. But I brought a big old orange I'm going to eat in the morning, so that's heavy. I brought a bunch of fresh pineapple I cut up, and then for dinner I'm eating, this is some leftover beets from the garden, cold beets, and I put a little salt on them. They're cold, but they're really good, and they're, you know, real food instead of the freeze-dried crap. So I'll be using all that extra weight I carried in the first day or two, and then my pack won't be quite so heavy. But I just figured I'd rather haul a heavier pack and have something decent to eat since it's only a 4-day trip. So I'm still not hungry, but I'm going to eat all this stuff tonight and get in there before it rains and relax. All right, just to wrap up the day, it's about 7 o'clock in the evening. Man, it just started blowing like crazy, and then it started to rain a few minutes ago. It only lasted for about 5 minutes, now it's quit. But looking at my map, as far as I can figure, it looks like I only have about 5 miles to Pitcher Lake, and I know that's 17 miles from the trailhead, so I probably went 12 miles today. Not what I wanted to do. Here's my map. What I do is I have these 7.5 minute maps that I copy and cut and paste because they kind of overlap where I'm going. This corner down here that's gone, I don't have that one. I started way down over here at Moon Lake, and then this is where I am right now. This is Clements Lake. I'm camped right over here, about right there. And the yellow is the trail. I'm going to go up over, this is East Basin Pass right here. That's a mountain. I'll go over the pass right here. And then on up here, and then there's no trail going to Pitcher Lake. And then the next, that's where I'll stay. So I've got a fairly short hike tomorrow. It looks like about 5 miles, a little bit of up and down. And then I'll go up here to Cleveland Pass, down the other side of the mountain. And then these maps are awesome because the topographical lines are only 40 feet. So they're really detailed. They've really been great to use. Problem is they were made in 1996 and they're outdated. There is a trail now that goes from here somewhere over to here and hooks up. So I'm not going to go clear down here. So hopefully I'll find that. And then back over, I'll camp somewhere over here the next night. And then there's Kidney Lake, which is right next to Brown Duck, which I was at, which is right here. And that last night I'll camp here somewhere, probably Kidney, and then hike out. So 4 days, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to tomorrow because it's my lightest hiking day and I'll be able to spend some time fishing up there at Pitcher Lake. The altitude here, the elevation altitude here at Clements is 10,440. So that means I started at 8,200. So I hiked 2,200 feet today. I had no idea it was that. I usually don't study these in detail till after the fact just because of that. Because that was a big climb today. That's more than I did any day, I think, on my Highline Trail hike. 2,200 feet is a lot for me. So tomorrow, not nearly as much. Tomorrow, Pitcher Lake is at 10,700, but there's some up and down before that, but it shouldn't be too bad. So looks like I'll have to get a late start in the morning and dry everything out because of the rain. And man, it was just nothing but blue sky all day today until about 3 or 4 o'clock. It started to get a few clouds and they started to get darker, and now it's really dark and stormy. So I'm really surprised because the forecast said 0% chance of rain, but Uintas have their own weather system. You never know. Here comes a big wind again. Looks like it's going to rain. So, all right, I'm going to get some rest and sleep, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Day 1 in the books. I forgot my body report for Snurks. My body's doing great considering I went 12 miles. My feet are quite sore. My hips are sore. I'm hoping I can sleep tonight, but I'm thinking they'll be fine. I feel pretty good. I do have a blister, oops, on my foot right there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'll probably put a band-aid on that tomorrow. It should be fine. I just got to be careful how I step, but I think I'll be fine because tomorrow's not a lot of rocky, steep stuff. So doing great. Awesome. I might even sleep tonight. So that was a long night. I didn't sleep much. It was really windy and I had achy hips, but I got a lot of good rest. That's all that matters. All right, we're up and running again. Day 2 on the trail. Gonna head up to East Basin Pass. It's a beautiful place. Can't wait to see it. So East Basin Pass is up there to the right where it dips down. I believe that's part of Brown Duck Mountain right there. It's really a beautiful morning. It was really windy all night and all morning. I mean, strong wind, and it finally is calming down now, so it looks like it's going to be a really nice day. So the pass actually is right here. It's in the trees. It's down below the tree line. It's unusual, but I'm pretty sure that down here a little ways, it seems like it cuts across to the left and opens up to where you can see the valley. Alright, so I've dropped down about 100 feet from the pass, but it's still, and this is my first view, still a spectacular view. Up there in the very top is where the Highline Trail goes across. And that's right up there is Lambert Meadows. Up over there is the bottom of the Oweep drainage. And about right in the middle there, up on the tree line where the trees are in the shade, that's where I spent my 4th night when I was doing the Highline Trail. So really beautiful little valley here. I'm going to drop down right into there in a minute. And this is East Basin. Pretty place. Look at all these raspberries growing right in the side of this mountain pass. Come up here and pick them in a few weeks. They're all over up here. Still going down the pass. More raspberries. These are everywhere. It's amazing how they grow out of these rocks. It's a rare moment when I'm out of the trees. Don't see this very often on this hike. There's the mountain I've been hiking around. Boy, it's a good thing today's hike is shorter because I have no energy. Hiked about 5 miles and I'm coming into the area of East Basin that's really beautiful. This is where all the ponds and meadows are. I gotta figure out somewhere up there against that mountain is Pitcher Lake. So I gotta figure out how to get up there. I think I'm gonna stop here and eat some lunch. See if I can get some energy. Really windy, but sure pretty beautiful day. So here's the pond where I ate lunch. And that's East Basin, and that up there is Cleveland Peak. I'm headed up this way to find Pitcher Lake. Well, I did that the hard way. Holy cow. I got turned a quarter turn wrong and went the wrong way, and 20-minute hike turned into an hour, but I finally made it. This is Pitcher Lake. I came at it from the wrong side. I should have come at it way from down there, but I finally made it. Now I gotta find a camp spot. Nice place to camp. Now I'm up at the other end of the lake. I've been looking for a camping spot. That right there in the middle, at the far end, is an island. Really windy today. Sea Lake. Get my camp set up, see if I can catch some fish. So it's about 6:30 or 7. I've been fishing. I hiked all the way around the lake almost, and not a bite. It's really windy, so plus the moon's been kind of bright. Well, I decided to hibernate into my tent. It's about 7 o'clock. It's just so miserable and windy. I'm just gonna stay in here the rest of the night. It's nice and sunny, but I got the flaps up so I can see out of my tent, which is nice. See what's going on around me. I like that. I'll have to close this off when I go to bed in case it rains, though. I'm forcing myself to eat one of these freeze-dried meals, and they're really good. I'm just not hungry. Biscuits and gravy. Oh yeah. So that'll be ready in about 10 minutes. And this has been a good trip, but you know, after hiking the Highline Trail, I mean, that was just so spectacular that this is almost feels like a letdown. And the wind, the constant wind, has also kind of put the damper on the trip. But it's still beautiful. It's still awesome to be out here. I love it up here. The worst day up here in the Uintas is better than my best day doing whatever. So, gonna eat my dinner, choke it down, force it down, and then relax for the rest of the night and get a bunch of rest. And I'm thinking that I won't do this loop up over Cleveland Pass like I was going to. I think I'll just go back the way I came. So do a little fishing. I fished off and on most of the afternoon, and not a bite, not a fish, not a jumping fish, nothing, man. And so partly I think it's because of the wind and also the moon. The moon is a lot brighter now than it was. There were some guys I know up here a couple weeks ago that caught some nice fish, so maybe I'll catch some in the morning before I pack up. So day 2 is just about over. Just one more shot of the lake before I go to bed. Get out here on the water a little bit. Sun's going down behind the mountain. Still windy. And there's my camp. So, good day in the mountains. Gonna be a beautiful morning, I'm sure. Maybe I'll do some fishing in the morning. So I'm on my way out, morning of day 3. I've been hiking for about 10 minutes, 15. Here is the mountain, the base of that mountain is where I was at Pitcher Lake. Over here is Cleveland Mountain Peak, Cleveland Peak, and right there in the center is Cleveland Pass, which I've decided not to go up and over. I'm just going to go back down the way I came. My hips are really giving me problems, so I don't think I'll go up over. I'd have to go over 2 passes today, and I don't think I need to do that. So just going to take it easy today, mostly downhill. I do have about a 400-foot climb up this side of East Basin Pass, and then probably stay at Brown Duck Lake tonight. Starting back up East Basin Pass, steep and really loose rocks. Can't tell the incline, but it's pretty steep. But mostly I wanted to get another shot of Cleveland Peak. That's a really pretty mountain. And while I've got the camera out, I know I filmed this before, but just before I go one last time, again, that right in the center of the frame is Cleveland Peak, and then over here, let's see, the furthest peak in the distance is Mount Lavina. Then right there in the middle is Lambert Meadows. Then, it's hard to tell what I've got. Right in the center up there, the furthest meadow up there, I camped right in the trees. Again, that's the 4th night of my high primitive area hike, Highline Trail hike. That's where I stayed. I wish I could see back up around this one finger that's in the way, but where you can't see Porcupine Pass. But some of my favorite area in the world, right up there on the Highline Trail. The Highline Trail goes right along those trees. Sometimes it's above it, sometimes it's in it. Cool stuff. Made it over the summit, headed down to Clements Lake. Made it down here to Atwine Lake, or Atwin Lake, however you say it. Really nice lake. I camped here about 4 years ago. It's really a beautiful little lake. I got to stop and take a little break. I hiked about 7 miles this morning. I got some problems with my feet, my left foot. I feel like I might be getting a blister or two, so I'm going to stop and doctor that up. And then Brown Duck Lake is a little over 2 miles from here, so I should be there in about an hour. Made it back to Brown Duck. Think I'm going to keep going though. My blisters are holding up okay. Hips are holding up okay. Think I'll just keep going. I made it. There's the car. I decided to come all the way out, 17 miles one day, if my body can handle it. So yeah, we made it. What a day. Oh boy, that was a big day. So when I got up this morning, I decided I really didn't want to spend another night, but I didn't think I could make it all the way out. So I thought I'd just see how it went. So my body held up really pretty well. My hips were aching a little, but then when I got to Brown Duck Lake, where I was going to spend the night, I decided to keep going and did okay. But by then I started getting blisters on my left foot, my 2 left little toes, and my inside of my heel. So I kept bandaging them up, and they did all right. I made it all the way. The last mile or two, with a lot of switchbacks, my left knee just killed, just from all the downhill and the heavy backpack. But I made it. 17 miles today. That's a record. Well, it is for recent years. So glad I did it. I didn't want to stay at Brown Duck. I've spent 2 nights there before and been there, done that. So just leaving Moon Lake Reservoir. Be home in a couple hours. Can't wait.